everyone, a junction malfunction here, and today I'm back with the final part, which is the fourth part to the giant TRACKMASTER review and unboxing video series. This has been a long time in the making. I first recorded most of the footage back in March of 2023. It is now the middle of July of 2024, and to say that I am pleased to finally be able to get the final part out is satisfying, to say the least. However, that isn't everything for this review yet, for I have the compilation video to upload, which will have a little sneak peek of something at the end, which a little, I guess, bonus is a little bonus of some things of sorts, of a particular Thomasy flavor, which I think you'll all find quite pleasant. So I would recommend watching the compilation when that comes out, but for the moment, we now have to deal with an angry James as he tours this little layout for me. It's a simple farm layout that I've designed so we could review the last of the TRACKMASTER items from this review. And first on that list is the Tidmouth Sheds, or rather a single birth shed. Now this came with that one Thomas Adventures or Thomas on the Go TRACKMASTER set, and it's a pretty good piece. Some of the proportions are a little out of whack. I like the coloring though, and the windows are mostly transparent besides the one at the top. They're a bit squished and thin though, but again, it's a pretty decent length. It's about the length of a TRACKMASTER tender engine, if not a bit shorter. The roof has some really nice detailing. Again, it isn't completely closed through, and even the interior's got some detailing, but again, the interior is a bit lackluster at times. The doors do move. That's a good feature, so engines can come in and out fairly easily. But there's no roof at the back of the shed, which is honestly my main complaint, is how empty and boring the back of the shed looks. But James is now filled up on water, and he's ready to be really useful, whether he agrees to it or not. And that's besides the point. So as James backs down onto his train, we can finally begin to talk about something else, and that's this lovely stop and go feature, which releases James and off he chuffs. Around the bend, down the hill, around the bend, Thomas and his friends, and I'm no singer. In any case, our second destination in this is that little bridge that Hit Toys released. Most commonly in the Build a Bridge pack, or set, or whatever the heck it's called. Hit Toys released that, and I want to say 2007, with the trees, the signal box, the signals and everything, all that, which you've seen already in the review series so far using other sets. And it's a good piece, it's solid, it's average, nothing spectacular about it. I like the risers that TRACKMASTER did, with the slope track and everything. And here is James coming back to Farmer Cole's station, or rather, I guess it's kind of a station, I don't know, Farmer Cole's building in TRACKMASTER was kind of weird. But I think it's nice. The bridge was nice, but the bridge is a bit meh overall. And here James stopped on the stop and go feature once again, since this time we've got to pick up a certain someone, although James isn't very pleased about it, since, well, he's employing coaches, so no surprise there that he isn't pleased. But in any case, this is TRACKMASTER Farmer Cole's. It's very meh. It's not entirely inaccurate, but it's not entirely accurate either. It's got nice coloring, I will say that. It's very warm colored, hence James. I chose James because he's got red paintwork and then the building's all red. It isn't quite 2D, but it's good to do with a bit of thickness, I feel, since on one side you've got the barn section, which is very thin, but if you also took multiple of those barn sections, well, then it would be a substantial width, but it isn't, so. I do like the little wind spinny thing on top. I forget what it's called. It's called like a wind, not a wind chime, but a weather vane or something like that. I think so. But it does have some nice details, as is being sort of the Hit Toys piece. But it's just not strictly accurate to anything you'd see on television screens for Thomas. So I like it, but at the same time, I don't really care for it. Now here's a cool little feature. You can actually open that little door thing so it can go down and load cargo into the cargo truck. And this cargo truck in particular, McCall's Farm one, actually opens on one of the sides, which I think there's a neat little piece of rolling stock in general that it can do that. It makes it that little bit more unique, and that allows this little loader ramp to be able to go down fully and to actually load the cargo directly. And that cargo today is good old Mrs. Cow. There's a throwback to 2016. So what you do is you put Mrs. Cow in the back of the little loader ramp, and then with a bit of tilting, you should be able to tilt it to that said position it was demonstrated a few minutes earlier. And then just so like that, you're able to load Mrs. Cow right into the troublesome truck itself, despite the fact this troublesome truck is lacking a troublesome face, but I digress. The McColl's Farm building itself, I'd say it's a good destination piece for being able to like load and unload stuff, because you can put any cargo piece in there as long as it fits, like those barrels or those little packets of like flour and sugar that TRACKMASTER released later on in the Fisher-Price era. They even recolored this for some other sets, for like a mail depot set. And again, that little wind chime vane thing from earlier also spins around, which is kind of neat. But off James goes to deliver Mrs. Cow around the layout, for Mrs. Cow has scheduled one outing out today with James, since apparently no one else was available, apparently. Honestly, I think Terrence would be better suited, but whatever. And here's the bridge again with all the girders and risers. I will say though, Tomy had the better girders and risers for being able to stack up than Hit Toys did, but Fisher-Price later fixed that with their expansion packs that they later released in the early to mid 2010s. And of course, TRACKMASTER 2 knocked it out of the water with some of the crazy things you could do with that, but that's TRACKMASTER 2, and well, TRACKMASTER 2 isn't really compatible with either Tomy or TRACKMASTER Classic, so hey-ho. And here James has arrived back at Farmer McColl's. Mrs. Cow is safe and happy and has enjoyed her little trip around the playset. Please note, this is my own creation, not an official playset. If it was official, there would not be nearly as many accessories. And off Mrs. Cow has been unloaded in Farmer McColl's, and all is happy and well. Oh, she's magically back in the freight truck. Look at that, she must be a magic Mrs. Cow. And now she's gone once again. Oh me, oh my. Anyway, as for the rolling stock itself, very nicely detailed, as we expected from Hit Toys. I like the brake van probably more than McColl's Farm truck. I just think the font they chose for McColl's Farm was just a little jarring, if not weird. It's not as bad, but the brake van just seems like this is the finalized design that took hours and hours to decide upon, while the Hurrah McColl one looked like it looks fine, but it looked like it was decided in an afternoon. But in any case, James is heading off to the sheds for a good old rest, since he's been really useful. Well, kind of. He only did 2 laps around the layout, lazy little engine. And poof, off he pops. Where, you may ask? Well, back to the shed, of course, where a splendid engine needs his beauty sleep, and get rid of that grumpy face. But thankfully we have Percy now to help us. Look, a little cameo from Harold, how nice. But Percy's going to show us how the set operates in the other direction, carrying the other piece of rolling stock I got in this. Oh dear, seems like Percy can't get up the slope. Oh no, what a disaster. How rude of Percy. He stopped on the hill and now he interrupted me, and now I lost my train of thought. How could he? Naughty little green caterpillar. Anyway, as I was saying, this is the other brake van and blue troublesome truck I got in all the items I received in the first part of this review series. But now Percy has stopped, and now we're going to try in the other direction. And Percy seems to like that a lot more. I'm not really sure why the Fisher-Price 2010 Percy struggled so much. It's not that steep of an incline. And to my knowledge, I have another 2010 Percy, which not anymore, it's a bit of an accustomed state, to put it mildly. It was able to climb said slopes fine as a kid, and I know that was 10 years ago, but this model should not be struggling to climb such an easy gradient so soon. But in any case, Percy's doing fine now, and what I wanted to say about the blue troublesome truck and the brake van is that they're both nicely detailed. The brake van's from Hit Toys. I believe it came with one of the RC engines. Actually, no, it came with the Trucks and Track pack, with the ice cream van and that GWR ventilated van, or was it the Soda Mine car? One of those two. In any case, and the blue troublesome truck also has 2 pieces of cargo from Mattel Fisher-Price. One is sugar, one is bread flour, which I think is quite clever. And then, oh, Percy's stuck again. So yeah, either way you set Percy on that incline, he struggles to climb up it, which I find a bit disappointing that this engine's only been not released for about 10, 12 years now, and already it struggles to get up slopes. I don't know if the gears are worn out in mine, but it's a bit disappointing. But in any case, I want to thank you all for watching this last and final part to the TRACKMASTER review series. There will be the compilation video in due time, and it seems like we're just going to have to watch Percy just struggle and struggle forevermore, since James is too lazy to go and fetch any help. Poor old Percy. But in any case, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all for the compilation video that is soon to arrive. Bye-bye for now!